Good morning and welcome to Ray's Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying this beautiful Tuesday morning. On this platform, we are dedicated to amplifying the vibrant voices of the youth towards matters that concerns us all. And you best know, if it's of great importance, we're definitely talking about it. It's my absolute pleasure and honor to anchor today's segment. My name is Oluchi Omenka, and of course, I've got the one and only lady vibe on this table, God's Beauty Israel. Good morning, girl.
Good morning. How are you? Good morning.
Doing well. I missed you yesterday.
Aww.
I didn't have you to brighten my Monday morning. But I was able to, live through it, and I'm glad that you're here.
Okay.
So how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm beautiful as always. How are you?
Very well. How did your weekend go? Since I couldn't talk to you about that yesterday.
It was restful. It was it was self-care. Even though I didn't go anywhere, it was more like I was in the house. Finished reading a book I started last month. Watch movies really because again, since I started the course in screenwriting, there's a lot. I mean, you have to watch movies to be able to know for those that are screenwriters, the what if and the whole lot of. I mean, big grammars here. Yeah. So that way you'll be able to know the fault of this person and how you don't, ensure that you don't make those kind of faults. So yeah, that's it.
That's interesting. So I have a question for you.
I hope I'm safe.
You are safe. I just wanted to know your viewpoints to this because I've seen it trending over the weekend. You know that over the weekend we had prominent people in our society celebrate their birthday.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of comments about it. Why some people thought that it was extremely extravagant. Some were saying they have the money to squander. It's all about business. So I want to ask, really, and thank God our boss had to do a video on our Instagram. I did see it, and the question was asked that would you lavish your money for a birthday party if you've made so much money? So I want to ask you, what's your viewpoint to people spending money lavishly when it comes to celebration?
So first off, I feel like when it comes to birthdays and all, everybody has different way that they see it. For me, birthday is more like that day where it's a year that you're just done with. So what exactly have you done? What impact have you made? What impact have you made? That's how I see it. So I really don't see it as that time to want to throw a big party and all of that. Again, there was this boss I was working with one time, and she would tell you, she doesn't celebrate birthdays, even down to her children and all. If that day comes, you just say, oh, today I want this bikini. We just keep it moving. And I was always curious what exactly is going on. And then I asked her, and she's like, oh, so imagine you're supposed to leave this earth at the age of 20 and you're 19. And you're clocking 20 and you're throwing a very big party, appreciating that, oh, I'm getting older and all. At the end of the day, you're somehow celebrating that you're living. That was her own mentality towards birthdays and all. So you see that it differs for so many people. So the likes of Ernie, because I've heard Ernie so many times when we talk about birthdays and all, that day is more like her very special day. She considers it to be like heaven on earth. So she's supposed to travel out. She's supposed to, do things, make herself feel happy and all. So everybody has different ways at which they celebrate their birthdays. I am one of those persons that I just want to be in my house. If there's party, fine. If there's no party, we are good. Like I said, for me, it's more about the impact I've made. When I entered, the new year last year, July and all, for me, it was more like, okay, what exactly have you done, right? You've been in this space for how long now? How many months? What impact have you made? Do you understand? What's the growth for you? And for me, it's more about, sober reflection, motivation. Okay, you're getting older, so you're supposed to be, by this time you're supposed to probably be with a whip, you're supposed to be with a house, you're supposed to be, there's that.
So you start with pressure talk.
No, not pressure really, but it's more about, okay, you have to be intentional about growth. So as you're clocking the new year, you're supposed to be, okay, this is all the things I've kicked in the box and this is what I'm supposed to be doing next. So that's how it is for me. So if there are people that, spend the whole millions for them to do their birthday, maybe, like I said, to them it's that day that you're supposed to tell the world that, Kai, I'm around. This was the day I came to the earth.
Well, I'll say that personally, I actually love celebrating birthdays. Like you mentioned about Oni. I think it's a very special day. When I was going to be 20, I remember I didn't let people rest.
Oh, wow.
Everybody around me knew that I was going to be 20 a few years back. I was so excited about hitting that, major milestone, and it was really, really exciting for me. Of course, there was nothing lavish in that sense.
Yeah.
Or maybe my own definition, 3 cakes. I had 3 cakes. So maybe that's lavish. But I was really excited to celebrate that birthday. But of course, I think there'll be some restriction and limits to how money is spent, because if it's overboard, it's going to bring a lot of questions and all. Let's just do something moderate.
No, you can. You really cannot tell people how to celebrate their day. Again, it's their special day. Everybody has whatever. If you also works with their spirit man, good for them. But again, now we taking into spiritual whatever. But honestly, yeah, there's that part as well. There are people that don't celebrate birthdays because of their spirit man. Honestly speaking, I can tell you for a fact that the time where I used to like tell people beforehand that, oh, my birthday is this day and that. Trust me, as that day keeps approaching, there's something bad that happens personally. So for me, it's more on, again, everybody has different reasons. But for me, I don't see a reason why.
Well, our birthday is coming soon, July.
Yeah, July. That's it.
All right, we'll take this short break and we'll be displaying today history on our screens, after which we'll come back for the headline stories across the globe. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us. Remember, you are the main ingredients in our conversations, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on everything we'll be discussing today. Our phone lines are open. Please call us on 07025007749 or 07014242420. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, do not miss out, because we're having a lot of subscribers lately. Join us and subscribe at Official Upgrade TV. Click the subscribe button, like, share the link, tune into channel 145 on your Go TV, and do not miss this for anything. We're going to scan the pages of top newspapers this morning, including the Tribune, the Punch newspaper, and of course, the international papers. Starting with God's Beauty.
All right, straight into the New York Times newspaper. I know you missed this yesterday, but I'm here now. All right, top left, we have attack devastated Ukrainian city. Top right, Trump tariffs shake faith in the safety of United States bonds. Left column, we have no easy path for Iran's talks. Two sides, hardliners leery of nuclear deal. Center of the headline, we have for Democrats, risky forays into the Oval Office. Governors who seek a relationship work a delicate line. Top right, from a cell, a Russian scientist feels a chill sweeping the United States. Then the last headline, which is at the bottom center, we have a helicopter traced New York skyline over 1,600 times. It faked its tragedy. All right, so I want to quickly talk on two headlines, really. But the first one is to just give more light on what's going on with the Trump and tariff and all. And the headline here says, Trump tariffs shake faith and the safety of United States bonds. So the Trump administration has introduced new tariff, triggering economic uncertainty, which you already know that already. As a result, investors are beginning to question the reliability of United States. Treasury bonds, once seen as a safe haven. Then the United States bonds are central to the global financial system. When their stability is questioned, it can lead to market volatility, higher borrowing cost, and a repeat effect across economies. So to just throw more light on this, right, people are questioning. So there's this system where people that have money, investors and all, they give money to the United States with that mindset of they'll be paid back with interest, right? I mean, that's something that I think that initiative is a very good one. Do you understand? But again, now that investors are pulling out, we have people that already put in their money. I mean, again, they're questioning the fact that, you know, the dollar is decreasing. I mean, to some extent in certain countries, right? Many countries like the likes of China are now more concerned about using their currency to even do their trade and all of that, instead of having to, you know, depend on dollar due to the issue that we already have with tariff and all. So since that is that, we now have investors that they've already invested in the United States, questioning their investment. That, oh, what if these people cannot even pay back? Because with the way things are going, with the trade war that United States have with both China, the UK, the Russians. I mean, these are top countries that, you know, they do their trading together. So now that the relationship has, you know, is looking strained, and also what would become of our interest that we've given to these persons? And I feel like that's where the downfall of any country would start from. Do you understand? Where you have investors that have been investing into the economy, that made it what it is today, start having that panic and all. It just takes just few time before you know that certain things will start crumbling. And honestly, I would say that with my full chest, Trump brings this upon us. There's nothing you people want to tell me, understand? Because again, this is something that we've been talking about for the past 2-3 weeks now. Again, right? Like I said, I get it every time where he says that, oh, you want to strengthen the United States economy and all of that. But this is not looking like strengthening to me right now, because again, you now see both the people that have, you know, put in money and all, they are not looking for ways to get it back. They are not really sure about it. It's a temporary downfall. Yeah. Are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
Okay, I said temporary. I mean, what do I expect, really? But there's this other one headline, like I said, I wanted to talk about, which is about like the governors there. So we have here some Democratic governors are starting to work more closely with Donald Trump, even visiting the White House when he invites them. They want to show they can work across party lines, but this can be tricky, especially since many Democrats still strongly oppose Trump and his policies. Do you see what's going on? So I think it's something that even happened here in Nigeria.
It happens everywhere.
Do you understand?
Politics.
And when I saw the story, it was quite funny to me, because, again, I mean, the fact that we have like the Republican, which is the president ruling, and these Democrats governors don't have a choice but to, you know, just follow through. Do you understand? But again, they are looking at it that our godfathers that put us on these seats, they will not like it, because again, we already know that there are some people that, of course, don't like, you know, the policies. They don't like Trump as a person. They don't like the policies that he's implementing and all. So they are not in that space where they are thinking, okay, how do we even, you know, balance the fact that we need to work with this man, given that we are the governors and he's the president of the country. And again, also look at the fact that the person that even put me on the seat, that's the, you know,
that reminds me of the conversation we had yesterday, where people should have loyalty towards the development of the nation and not
about their godfathers.
Parties.
But if that's what happened, because again, I feel like this is where the problem happened. This is the problem. The fact that the election and all of these things is expensive. Because if it's not, you would not need anybody to sponsor you to be on that seat. Yeah. Do you understand? So now, if you say you want to tilt more to, you know, the development and whoever that is ruling, it just means that that time that you want to leave the seat. Because again, you will not have people that will sponsor you to be there. Even if you don't want to go for any other like state or any other, you know, place, they will also look at the fact that this one, when we put her for this place, he not do anything. That happened to one of the governors in Lagos State. I'm not going to mention anything, but you guys get it. This one went on seat, then all the people that put him there, he now blocks the person. He now puts in you. They just look and say, oh yeah, 110 or go like this. So yeah, it happens. Do you understand? It happens. So I think probably one of the ways we'll curb all of these issues is probably there's a reduction about when it comes to like the election process. If the money is not expensive, do you understand? The fact that it's expensive for you to just get what do they call it now? Is it a ticket or whatever they call it, for you to be on seat and all, for you to run as candidate and all of that, it's a lot of money. When you know say you know get them. And the funny part, they say is youth, that you want youth to be there, but you look at the amount. It just means that they will need, you know, sponsors. And of course they would somehow still have to tally with, you know, most of the things that the sponsor want them to do when they go on seat. So it's really like a circle thing, but we'll be all right. Saying,
bringing it back to the Nigerian space, we need to have more people showing their loyalty towards the development of the nation itself, and whoever is on seat, regardless of the fact that the person might be in your party or against you, Yesterday, we're not on this show. We were
Right.
looking at the whole appointment thing from Tinubu and how a particular senator came out to criticize him, a senator who is supposed to be loyal to his administration and his party. And in fact, after the criticism, members of the party even wanted him to step down because why would you do this, seeing that you're in this party?
So it's really a typical political thing,
Terrible. We have another party story here on the Punch newspaper, and it's 2027 article block defies PDP governors over coalition talks. Ex-VP insists on 2027 pan-Nigerian project as PDP governors distance party from coalition talks. Tinubu orders offensive as fresh Plateau attacks leaves 51 dead. Federal government scrambles to avert Gen cost shutdown over 4 trillion naira debt. Presidency slams El Rufai over plot to woo Buhari. Algon calls out AGF on LG autonomy stalemate. Nigeria's external debt servicing may hit $5.2 billion, says Fitch. Family feud. Peter alleges Jude diverted 1.3 billion naira P-Square's earnings. And the last story here reads, Buhari's ex-minister cautions Makinde on successor plot. So, like I said, there is another story here, still on this 2027 thing. Something shocking was said yesterday on the show from one of our guests. He said that across the streets in Abuja and maybe some places in Lagos, we're now seeing some people campaigning towards 2027 in favor of the current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There are some posters already that are already, they are gearing up in that sense for 2027. Person must even mentioned, we've just done half of his tenure for this first tenure. Hopeful that there's not another tenure, but at least the first tenure that we have, I didn't say anything. The first tenure that we have, it's not even over. We're just in 2025. There's still 2026, and then people are gearing up for 2027, even with posters around. And now Atiku has come out to say, as one who lost the last election, he's saying that the way we can defeat this ruling party is to have a coalition. Let's join forces together. And what is shocking here is your plan to defeat the enemy in that sense. Your family members are not. When I'm trying to use this word loosely, he plans to defeat his enemy, but the family members, that's his party, PDP, are not in support of it. So it makes me question a lot of things that, if these people are not in support of your coalition, maybe there are some loopholes and Easter eggs that we need to start noting, and maybe this is not even looking as promising as it looks like. And I'm wondering if coalition is really the way forward to unseat the present ruling party. And we know how this thing works. Coalition can look like, we are united towards a common enemy in that sense. Using the word enemy very loosely. There's no enemy anywhere. We're united towards a common enemy, and then when we now get to power, there's some of disloyalty to other people who helped us get there. So I'm like, this coalition that you want to form, with which party exactly? Are you looking at Labour Party? Is Peter Obi and Atiku coming together to now have an Atiku Obi?
So who will be the president? Who will the
That's one thing. Eventually, there will still be another internal fight that will make us a little bit distracted. And I don't know if coalition is really the way forward. I really do not think that's...
So I've heard this before. I mean, I remember having a conversation with someone earlier, I think last year or so, and the person was like, for a Peter Obi to be emerged as president, he has to, join forces with the PDP, so that way, other states, they would know him, not just here in Lagos, like every other places, they will scream him, even down to like the local government and all of that. So yeah, there's everything that has advantage.
Has disadvantage.
Exactly. So we know for sure that they're coming together. I mean, the force of Peter Obi and Atiku, even though I'm struggling to know who will be the president and the vice.
You can really imagine, it will be someone that has great authority there. Presently, it's Atiku that is of great, influence in the PDP party.
Because he's in the PDP party.
Yeah,
so you see, I honestly speaking, I really don't know. Again, for me, it's always more about the motivation and the intention behind it.
It's to bring down the ruling party.
Exactly, that's the motivation. So that is not giving me anything, useful to hold. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because again, what's the possibility that if you are there, you're going to do something different, and you're not going to cut our neck with long. Do you understand? So honestly speaking, I really don't know what the plan is, but fingers crossed, let's see how it goes. I like to see how things goes, especially on this kind of scenario.
Definitely see how it goes. But I think this is just a very simple advice for the other parties that are not yet ruling. If you want to have a chance to rule this nation, it's not firstly by criticizing and being all over the place, saying this current administration is not doing as they ought to. What are you doing with grass? This is the time to even become a busybody in ensuring that certain things in your local government, certain places you were not able to infiltrate in 2023, you're already entering there. For example, the Labour Party, we didn't see them gain much traction in the northern areas. What are you doing to ensure that that changes? In Lagos, you had your votes. In the east, in some parts in the west, you had some good votes. But in the northern areas, you know that you had no chance. So if you want to come back again, what are you doing in those areas? These are places to concentrate on, not to be talking of coalition at this point. We have the Tribune, but we're really running out of time. So I'll just read the headlines, take a short break, and then come back with our hot topic for today, because we want to discuss this Plateau story. The major headline here reads, 51 feared killed in fresh Plateau attack. Killings in Benue, Plateau states it's a genocidal war. It's an excusable security failure, says Amnesty International. Resolve underlining communal issues in your area, Tinubu tells Plateau governors. Above that, we see Nigeria must pursue 10% GDP growth to achieve 1 trillion naira, $1 trillion economy by 2030. As solar, Nigeria spent $200 billion on importation of panels, REAMD. And that's all the story that I can take this morning. Of course, the major headline is the context or the background to our hot topic for today, as we plan to unpack, the recent story and developments as regards insecurity in Plateau State. Of course, we'll be right back after this short break with our guest and our hot topic. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. Today's conversation is quite sad. We are trying to unpack the recent Plateau killing, a very sad one. The recent attack on Zike village in Basa local government area of Plateau State, where over 40 people were killed, is yet another tragic reminder of the protracted insecurity crisis plaguing the Middle Belt. Reports confirm that the assailants, believed to be armed herders, launched a midnight assault, targeting homes, looting property, and displacing dozens. Despite several security deployment and government promises, such brutal incidents continue to repeat with little or no deterrence. And this is not an isolated case, but part of a long-standing conflict fueled by resource competition, ethnic and religious tensions, and perceived government neglect. Over the years, Plateau has witnessed a cycle of violence, often centered around land dispute between nomadic herders and settled farming communities. And these clashes, which started as localized land disagreements, have grown into complex, multi-layered conflict with devastating humanitarian consequences. And in response to the latest killings, President Bola Tinubu demanded a permanent solution, urging both federal and local stakeholders to act decisively. However, civil society groups, communities, leaders, and affected residents are growing increasingly frustrated, calling for more proactive, grassroots-driven approaches. And today's conversation seeks to move beyond blame and delve into actionable, sustainable solution. Of course, we have an incredible guest to join us today. Good morning, Mr. Emmanuel Ikule. Are you here with us? Good morning, Mr. Emmanuel Ikule. Are you here with us? Okay, I think we have a bit of a network issue. So we'll start the conversation already. I mean, the Tribune already carried
51.
Yeah, 51. And reading the introduction, I started with saying 40.
As of yesterday, yeah?
As of yesterday. So that's like 15 more added. And that's really crazy killing. And it's a cycle of violence. And I'm wondering why these communities are still being attacked. Because you won't say that there are no security that are being deployed into these areas. We're seeing that, you know, some armed forces are going there, but there's still a cycle of violence. What do you think could be some underlying reasons that are being overlooked that we're not talking about?
Honestly speaking, I mean, over the years, we've seen this happen repeatedly. And it's annoying that, you know, nothing has been done, nothing has been... Let me not say nothing has been done, but I mean, we don't see evidence say things they really work out. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So I mean, honestly speaking, we've come to that place where even when I saw like the president's press release and all, in back of my head, I'm like, okay, now you're asking for sustainable solutions, that be permanent solutions and all. Please, what were the solutions that was being brought in years ago? Because again, this is like over a decade. Do you understand? This is over 10 years we've been having this, you know, this killings in Plateau State and all. So tell me why it's now that you're looking for permanent. This is not to insult him. I would not do that. But this is also me questioning the fact that what exactly have the other past president, what exactly have they been doing to curb this thing? Do you understand? Because if something has something has happened over time, we've seen it happen year in, year out, and nothing has actually been effectively, you know, done to, you know, stop all of these things. Again, it's taking me back to what exactly have we been doing. Every year you see, you know, drafts of budget, you know, to curb insecurity and all. Until today, we've still not taken care of it. So there's really a lot to ask. And again, I mean, when I was talking about this particular story yesterday with someone, the person was saying, not be made to come. It's important that I state that out. And the person is like, if there's no probably someone superior or someone aiding this thing, I don't see a reason why it will still be happening to today. So, which again, back of my head, I'm like, there's an atom of, you know, truthfulness in what the person has stated. Because if you're telling me that this killing has happened for more than up to 10 years, it's crazy why there have been no permanent solution that have been called out since. It's today. Now, well, you know, say you won't get permanent solution. I mean, it's something that we need to actually question. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get you.
So yeah, there's really a lot. And insecurity is one of the pressing issues that we have here in Nigeria. And like I said, it's not enough for us to drop budgets every year, which I actually don't even know if I use the money to do. Literally, you guys are being honest, but we need transparency here. So we don't know what we're using the money to do. Is he AK-47 people are getting? Is he Abba-made products people are getting? We need to understand. You get it. So I mean, when we are able to understand all of these things, the money that's been drawn out, what exactly the money being used for, right? Then we'll not talk about the implementation. We'll talk about people that are being trained to even go and fight for these people. Where exactly are they being trained? Who are training these people? Do you understand? There's a lot of things that we actually need to ask. Because again, when I even saw the story of, you know, the killings and all, I mean, the Punch newspaper, you see where there was a particular place it was stated where they said, oh, these people sleep, then it's at midnight, so they're doing the full killing and all. Back of my head, I'm like, I'm very sure that every local government has a police station. What are the work of those people? It is not to wear uniform. Wait. Why is there
There's
local
a
government without a
difference
police
between
officer? I'm
you're very
confused.
sure or it is expected of a local
Okay, it is
government.
expected. What?
Because
It's
we are
crazy
not
to me
pretty
right
sure
now.
if that's what's happening over there, if there is a police station that is assigned
Jesus Christ.
to major local governments in that area or a walking police station. So I'm just trying to help you.
Why is there look? And wait, I'm confused now. Why is there local government without a police station? I'm confused. Who is supposed to be taking care of them security wise, right? So if there's even nothing like that, then I mean we have a very big problem at hand. Yes, we have a very big problem. If there's no local government without a police station, I'm confused. What exactly have they been doing? What have been protecting them?
Very true. See,
These are things that we need to put on board. These are questions that need to be asked. So it's not enough to come out and tell us that you want permanent solution. What exactly is your definition of permanent solution?
now, we'll still get to the whole comment that the president had, mentioned, almost looking like, I wouldn't say extracting the federal responsibility to a problem that's happening in local levels. I don't want to put it like that, but sometimes it might look that way. When the president or the executive comes out to give certain comments like this, almost like you're extracting yourself from responsibilities that even though people at the state level and the local levels are facing, you're expecting them to handle it. It's still, it's still your nation. They are still under you. They still report to you. It's expected that in just the same way there was emergency, state of emergency that was called for rivers, we saw your intervention there. It shows that it's not only for places where there are political crises, but also insecurity issues as well. And then looking at this whole story and the whole cycle of violence, I would say one very major thing that seems to be a major issue that's almost looking like, pardon my voice and my vocals this morning, I really don't know what's happening. I think it's this security problem and the underfunding of security officials. It was like a glimmer of good news when we heard over the past few weeks how that the EU, the European Union, were planning to donate a huge sum of money to help combat insecurity challenges. And that was like, okay, thankfully, we're going to have some of these things. We're going to have more drones. We're going to have the right equipment to be able to tackle this. But it's almost like this money it's always just audio money. I'm not saying audio money that
if truly the money it's truly the money is allocated for these things, what exactly are they using the money for? It's something that we actually need to be questioning.
All right, guess what? Our guest is here now, Mr. Emmanuel Ikule. Good morning. Hi, are you here with us now? Can't seem to hear him. Good morning, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. We've been waiting for you, but thank you for joining us this morning. We're trying to unpack the recent killings in Plateau, and beyond the headlines, we want to really know the lesser-known root causes of these repeated attacks in Plateau that the public may be overlooking.
Okay, if you look at the crisis in Plateau, there are a couple of things you can look at. The first, we'll look at case of land grabbing. The second, you are looking at case of genocide. And then you are also looking at situation of maybe political hand in some of this happening within the state.
All right, so why do this violent episode, why do they continue to happen in communities that already are under military or police watch?
Our states, our country, if you look over the time, there have been absence of accountability for funds.
I like that.
There have been absence of checks or audits of security agencies over the years. So each year there are budgetary allocations given, but there is no follow-up whether those funds were actually being used for what it was meant for. So consistently, you continue seeing budgetary allocations without no clear-cut achievement to show for funds being given. The last administration showed about, be it a contribution to security, there were about 400 boats donated to Navy. There are about 38 air jets, fighter jets was donated, and then about 36 ordered. Then concerning about the military, about 700 or more armed vehicles were also being provided. Outside the locally assembled ones, and then those ones that are being donated by state governments in different states. So this happens, these are being donated, but you don't see how these are being put into use. So if all this while you are not auditing the funds you are giving to the military or security agencies, you are also not auditing achievements, you are also not putting criminals to book. So it means you can commit any offense and go scot-free. So as long as these are happening and we are only giving promotions, giving ambassadorial positions to failed chief of staffs, insecurity will still continue.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. So let's start talking about Corbyn, right? Because again, I like the fact that you made mention of some of the donations that happened during the last president and all of that. Because again, I wanted to ask, what exactly have the other president been doing, given that this situation is something that's happened for over a decade now, right? Well, we've been having this back and forth in Plateau State, even in other states as well. But let's streamline it more to the Plateau happenings and all. So let's talk about what exactly should be put in, because I hear my president when he says that we need permanent solution. So let's talk. I mean, what permanent solution do you think should be on ground? Because I hear you when you say that there are a lot of things that have been donated. You made mention of cars. You made mention of even men and all of that have been put on ground. But at the end of the day, we actually don't see any effectiveness of all of these things that are happening. Do you understand? How about, I mean, the fact that we have all of these people put in place, we have all of these things, we've donated this, donated that. At the end of the day, there's nothing to show for it. It's more like saying that there's nothing has been worked on. Actually, that's what it means. Do you understand? So let's start talking about those permanent solution in coal. What do you think are those things that should be put in place? Because again, I even want to ask, why exactly do you think this old killings have actually been persisting? I mean, for over a decade, it has been happening repeatedly, and there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing really. There's nothing that's been able to stop it over time. I mean, it's really crazy thinking about it.
Okay, I'll begin first of all. Absence of political will is one of the reasons why these have continued over time. If you have presidents or governors or local government respecting Section 14 that talks about protection of lives and property, then they will make it a primary thing.
Right.
But most times when they enter into office, they are thinking about second tenure. And that is a problem. You have not worked for the first 4 years. You are thinking more about the next 4 years. So this is a big problem. Another thing is, if you have not won fight against insurgency and you are giving amnesty to criminals, that means there's a problem. It also means there's also a hand of the government also in all these issues. Our late former president, General Sani Abacha, also said something about this. So I've been privileged to work in IDP camp and in refugee camp in Benue State. There are a couple of situations where these attacks happen in certain local governments and people were arrested. The military came and took over these criminals, but you don't hear about them. Before you still see the same criminals roaming around. That means they are never being brought to book. So as long as there's absence of accountability of these criminals, they will continue. And there's also some kind of agenda on the ground. There are a couple of situations where these people will attack communities. The military will do nothing or claim not to know. Once the community tries to defend themselves, you find the military preventing them from protecting themselves. It has happened different times in the state, in Benue State. And if you're also looking at the issues within North Central is a fertile ground. And most persons that claim to be headers, because this situation is no longer farmer-header clashes, it's actually militia coming within to come and take land and also kind of drive away the people within those communities. And the federal government is aware. If they are not doing something about it, it's because they are not really interested. Not that they don't have the capacity or have the armory or equipment to do something about it. Then, if you are looking at addressing this situation, one, we should look at emergency preparedness, a national emergency preparedness plan for Nigeria. The states are supposed to also have theirs. because sometimes it's as if the federal government has a hand in the happenings in the state. So the state on their own also have to prepare so that even if the federal government is not interested in addressing those situations, they can help themselves. Secondly, synergy between Nigeria and neighboring countries. Those states are being affected and also their neighboring states because we have porous borders, be it Nigeria, be it states. We are interconnected. So as long as your borders are open, other persons will find their way into your territory. And you have, to an extent, work towards addressing this. There are also other issues also. When you are looking at lack of compensation for victims, people that have been affected, but you are looking at the state paying criminals or paying Boko Haram or these headers. And you feel when you pay criminals, it prevents them from doing the same crimes or committing the same crimes that they have been doing. Those are also issues. There's also a need for reconciliation within the country because a lot of communities are at crossroads. So when a particular community is being attacked, those neighboring communities may not support because already they have existing issues with among themselves. So these people, these criminals come or terrorists come and attack this particular community A, move and attack community B, and none will help each other because already they have internal issues. And these criminals are aware of that. So they continue like this. And also, traditional rulers have also been culprits. Religious leaders, some of them also are culprits because they have hands in this. Some of these criminals come into communities, they go to these chiefs and pay them some amount of money that we just want to sit here and settle here for the meantime. Unknown to some of these communities that their plan is not just to come and feed their animals during that time. The plan is actually to come later and displace such communities and start living in those lands. This doesn't happen in any country where you just come to somebody's land, kill them and take over their land. You go to a place, if you are interested in such a place, you lease or rent or buy, and then you stay there as your own place. But this new thing or this ancient archaic thing of doing where you come to a place, you kill people and then you move. And you cannot tell me that the military is not aware how this person's pass from one location to the other. They choose not to do anything about it. If you look some years back, where a particular person was going in the name of Gumi, going to such places, different places that he wants to do reconciliation or aid ransom payments. The military were going to escorting him to those particular locations. Why were they not intervening? It means they are not interested. It's not that they are not capable or competent to address this situation. In different African countries, there have been issues of peacekeeping and all that. Our military have been able to go there and address situations. If we cannot address the one happening in the country where they are aware of the terrain, they are knowledgeable, if it's based on language too, they understand this language and everything, and still these issues are persisting. They only arise when communities want to defend themselves. That means indirectly, there's an issue on the ground that is not clearly being known to people. And also it happens also when you also discover that the president is not talking. Issues happen, people are being killed over and over again. That is when they decide, because one or two persons or activists have flagged it, then they talk about it so jovial or cordial. Life should matter, but unfortunately, Nigerian lives are losing its worth. And for me, if security chiefs, they should be given an ultimatum. If within 1 month you cannot address these issues in this particular local government, they should be replaced. Enough of just keeping people that cannot do their work. We should be looking at merit. It shouldn't be about tribe. Because I'm the president, somebody should come from my ethnic group or from my tribe. It should be based on competence. If we are thinking about one Nigeria and wanting Nigeria to work, we should be patriotic to Nigeria, not to tribal affiliations or sections. And these divisions have aided crime. So these are the issues I feel if it can be fixed, then to some level, we'll be able to address some of these concepts.
Mr. Emmanuel, you've really mentioned some critical and insightful problems there, and we hope that when we come back from this short break, we'll open up other forms of solution that we can start looking out for, and also your involvement, since you're one who is involved in NGO, organizations. So please stay with us, our viewers. We'll be back after this short break with more insightful conversation on this recent Plateau killing.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Welcome back to our viewers, and of course our guest has joined us here. A very, very heavy claim has been made. Mr. Emmanuel pointed out to us that if we're seeing recurrence of these crimes and killings, it shows that the negligence is actually from people who are supposed to be in authority, take responsibility, and fight these things. But if it's continuing, it shows that some people are keeping their mouth shut when they ought to be talking. But now, Mr. Emmanuel, you're one who is an NGO leader, and I want to ask you, based on your experiences, what limitations do organizations like yours face in these conflict zones, and how can they be overcome?
So honest, when you don't have a government that wants to be accountable, they don't like you telling them the truth in the face or telling them the situation. So they try to be politically correct. So when people are crying or talking about killings, they may tell you that it's just communities fighting and it's one small thing happening. They don't want to flag it from onset that this is a very serious issue that needs addressing. So I'm giving an example like Benue, at least the governor of Plateau have come out to actually talk about this. If you look at Benue, most times the government may be silent because maybe he is maybe feeling that if he talks about this, it's indirectly saying that APC government is failing. This is not about APC.
Right.
This is about the sanctity, the sacredness of life, and to show that human life matters. So if people are dying, if communities are being displaced, if livelihood are being displaced, destroyed, and you are still keeping quiet, that means you are failing in carrying out your primary responsibility of protection of lives and property. And if any government fails to do this singular or primary duty, it means you are not worthy being our leader. A lot of persons, even if they are citizens, they are being abused in a foreign country, the seriousness or urgency they take in trying to bring back such persons, you see that they value their own. But when you come to Nigeria, it's a completely different issue. And from some of us, it's also saying that it's like certain persons get into government and feel it's an opportunity to flag or upgrade their ethnic or tribal affiliations. So over time, North Central have just been attaching to the North, and no president or no person with power, really, decision-making power, is coming from North Central. So you attach yourself, and then you are also looking at hands. If traditional leaders or from these different ethnic groups within North Central are not answerable to the North, so some of those states are also being affected. You are looking at Plateau, you are looking at Benue, because their traditional leaders are not answerable also to the North. So when you see these killings happening, you hardly hear any leader from the North actually criticizing it. But if at any time one person is being killed, one criminal is being killed, you see almost all the associations in the North talking about it. It means they are in support of this. I'll give example. On the 1st of January 2018, there was attack in Benue, and I was part of that intervention because we went around getting people to IDP camps, and then see how we can get them a little bit settled or provide a little shelter for them during this time with support from UNHCR. During this time, these different, there were different groups, like a particular group that came out, Meitiala, and they said that they are responsible for this killing. Guess what? Nobody has been arrested till date. And in Benue State, we have about 12, from 12, I think we're having 21 IDP camps now. And a refugee camp in Benue. And still, it's not a national crisis. But you can rush to Rivers State because of political agenda and make it state of emergency and cause a lot of this. But these issues that have been lingering for 10 to how many years is no serious issue. That maybe you replace service chiefs or push them to come and be living in these locations to address these issues and give them ultimatum of how many months or weeks they should address this. And failure to do that, they'll be replaced or at the same time punished for failure to do their work. That is what they signed for, and that is what they are being paid for. More than 70 to 90% of Nigerian citizens are not paid by the government. So if the remaining persons are being taxed and taxpayers' money are being gathered and paid to you, budgetary allocations are given to you. And let me also state this. Security budget is the only budget that is not being touched. Whatever they bring is whatever is being approved. And if that is being given to them for all these years and they cannot show that they have addressed a particular security concern in Nigeria, it means they have failed. There's no need to start mising words to suit or try to be politically correct.
All right, thank you so much, Emmanuel.
The president should give ultimatum to the current service chiefs to address this and ensure that those criminals are being brought to book and being punished. We have laws, implement them.
I like that. We have laws, implement them. Even though I have the mindset, I mean, I've come to that conclusion today, that you see that constitution, there's something that we need to do around it, honestly speaking. Because again, going by what you said about the fact that some people, go and sit and the next thing they're thinking about is about the next tenure. They are more concerned about, the next sitting instead of them to even, let's even see the reason why you are here. Do it. Let's even see why we, put you on it. So let's talk about accountability, right? How can we ensure that, how can we hold these people accountable? Because again, honestly speaking, you see, all the things that you've been saying, I've just been checking this in my book like, yes, that's it. Because again, going by what you said about if somebody goes on sit today and the person is not able to take care of a particular problem, we should just say the person, hello, sir, thank you for your time. Can we, can you go down? Can you step down? Because again, I feel like that's where we've come into. So in 1 minute, please, so we can wrap up, right? How do we ensure that how do we hold these people accountable, right, for all of the things that they don't do? They write manifestos, they say manifestos, but at the end of the day, we don't even see any of the things that they have said. So how do we hold them accountable?
For the first thing is, let me start with the police. We have the CRE, the Complaint Response Unit, because they have, outside these attacks, there's also been a lot of police abuses and human rights violations by security agencies. They should purge themselves internally. That is one. Secondly, the houses of assembly, they are supposed to make laws that as long as you become a political or a leader, a politically appointed person in this country, you cannot travel out throughout the duration of your tenure. If it's health, you treat yourself here. If it's issue of insecurity, you address it. And if at the end of your tenure, you should be audited. And if those funds are not being accounted for, such a person should be sentenced to life imprisonment. There's also need to also reduce the funds being, the payments, particularly those in House of Assembly, those occupying political positions. They should reduce the money to make it not to be attractive, so that competent hands can occupy those places. And for service chiefs, they should audit their accounts. And at the end of your tenure, if people have died, because if you look at the last 2 years, security agencies themselves have killed citizens more than people they claim they have saved.
I agree.
You have hundreds in different locations, 60, 80, and 16 and all that. Who is being punished?
Sadly,
That
Mr.
means they are
Emmanuel,
not
this
failing
is
to
the
purge
best we
themselves.
can take. This is the most we can take for today's show. And I really wish we stay with these consequences
Honestly
from the beginning
speaking.
of the show. Very insightful. And we hope to have you again when we begin to open up conversations like this. Thank you to our viewers for staying with us. Thank you to God's Beauty for
Thank
our
you so much,
insightful
Oluchi.
questions. Until tomorrow again when we discuss health-related topics, this is still Ray's Breakfast. See you tomorrow by 8 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?